Hey guys, and welcome to part 2 of my actor breakdown of Spider-Man. If you haven't seen part 1, then the link is in the description, or if you're here from part 1, let's not waste any time and get right back to it.
You understand the NYWL is not responsible for any injury you may and probably will sustain while participating in said event, and you are indeed participating on your own free will?
Yes.
Down the hall to the ramp. May God be with you.
Okay, very well-known actress here. The check-in girl is played by one Octavia Spencer, a 3-time Oscar nominee for her roles in The Shape of Water, Hidden Figures, and The Help. And the nomination she got for The Help, she converted into a win.
Eat my shit.
What'd you say?
I said eat my shit.
Now, for whatever reason, Spencer gets cast as nurses a lot, having played characters with that occupation 16 different times.
I played nurse that's had it. Nurse that's had it up to here. And nurse that had it so bad this happened. Yeah, she got stabbed bad.
She's not joking. That scene in Halloween 2 where she gets stabbed, it's brutal. I'd get demonetized like that if I showed it. Oh, and she's done some voice roles too. For example, this is her in Onward.
Quick, somebody help me. These Griffin nuggets were supposed to go out minutes ago.
Oh my God! Oh, my legs! Oh God, I can't feel my legs!
Okay, so gonna get to the actor in a moment, but I gotta mention the name of this unfortunate wrestler character. Jack Murdock. Yeah, as in Battling Jack Murdock, the father of Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil. Yeah, that scene in No Way Home was not the first time a Parker and a Murdock have shared the silver screen. Crazy, huh? Anyway, the name of the actor here is Scott L. Schwartz, who, like Macho Man, was a real-life professional wrestler himself, who went by the moniker the Israeli Commando, for he was of Israeli descent and he is Jewish. And he's had a ton of movie work, both as a stuntman and actor. Here's Sarah Michelle Gellar kicking his ass in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
If you find yourself a good anger management class, then I'll jam this pokey wood stick through your heart.
But Scott's best known role was probably as Bulldog the Bruiser in the Ocean's trilogy.
Ah! Bruiser? Not until later.
Sorry, Danielle. I forgot.
Bonesaw's gonna eat you up and spit you out, little man. I hope you brought your mommy with you.
We're gonna break
you're gonna
you
need
to
someone
pieces
to go
and then
crying.
smash
I'm gonna
it.
Okay, let's talk about the Bone-Ette, Macho Man's assistants. All 4 were played by real-life wrestlers themselves, all performing in the Women of Wrestling promotion. We got Lisa Danielle, who went by the name Bronco Billy.
Here comes Billy trying to set her up for the Bulldog. Got her! She certainly did!
This girl is Natalie T. Yeo, who went by the name Roxy Powers.
Both of them locking up. Roxy taking Jane Blonde down. Roxy showing her athleticism as noted earlier in today's program.
This is Erica D. Porter. Her name was Jungle Girl.
Here goes the master of the splash.
And then there's Kristen Davidson, aka the Disciplinarian.
Up against the rope. Slingshot. Oh, shoulder block delivered by the Disciplinarian. And look at this. She's mocking Patty Pep.
Ah, the infamous Cage guy. Well, time to find out who this is. And this is American actor Brad Grunberg. As it turns out, Grunberg has had tons of movie and TV show bit roles, where he usually plays the part of the comedic fat guy, like in this clip from Chuck and Larry.
I'm running, Mama! I'm running like the wind! Slow down, slow down!
Or here, where he drops by Larry David's house in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Take the rest of the day off.
He also showed up in Fuller House, playing a competitive eater.
What's up, fun size? Shouldn't you be eating your Lunchables?
Here he is in drag in Miss Congeniality 2.
I'm Elizabeth Taylor. What do we have here? Tina and,
Coco.
Where do you think you're going? The only people who get to go to the dressing rooms are our fabulous regulars and our open micers after they pass round 1.
But back in his earlier years, he actually made an appearance on Love Connection, an American dating show.
Would like to go out with Vicky again if we pay for it?
Chuck, I'd rather stay a virgin for the rest of my life.
But my favorite discovery about Grunberg? He's in one of my all-time favorite comedies, Robin Hood Men in Tights. He's the guy that hilariously heckles the abbot.
Hey, Abbott!
I hate that guy.
I need that money.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Okay, this might be my favorite actor I think I've covered on this series so far. The wrestling promoter is played by one Larry Joshua. Now, first off, you might remember him from things like NYPD Blue.
She's in a panic. She can't sleep. They had to knock her out with drugs. She says she's never going back to work as long as that maniac's out there.
And here he is in Dances with Wolves.
You turned Injun, didn't you?
Make way.
Didn't you?
But let's talk about his career highlights. Now, is anyone here a Last Week Tonight fan? Because in 2021, John Oliver made an episode on his show about police raids. And in that episode, he talked about a short-lived TV show called Cop Rock, a 90s police procedural series that took the form of a musical.
Are you part of an organized outcry? Are you acting no?
Would you agree this case has racial overtone?
I'd like to thank Mr. Oliver for introducing to me this masterpiece. I mean, it is only right that I carry on the gospel that is Cop Rock. Racial overtones! So, why am I bringing the show up? Well, one of the series regulars was, you guessed it, Larry Joshua. And he got to sing too. With one particular number he did, it just perfectly fits this scene.
$100. The ad said 3,000.
With your bitches, I heard it all before. Yeah!
I need that money.
With your bitches, don't wanna hear no more. No more, yeah!
Please, after you finish watching this video, follow the link in the description and watch the full song. It's incredible.
Hey, what the hell?
Put the money in the bag.
So, Carradine is played by American actor Michael Papajohn. You've likely seen Papajohn around in many movies and not realised it was him. The poor guy seems to get cast quite a bit as the big rough dude who the hero beats up to make them look better. Here's Bruce Willis kicking his ass. Here's Drew Barrymore. Jeremy Renner, you're up. Felt that one. And Jesse Eisenberg, finish him off with a play of the game. I mean, Papajohn recognizes this trend himself. His Twitter bio reads, "Killed and being killed by more people on screen than anybody in Hollywood." It's a living. But put it this way, Michael. At least I haven't killed you. At least not intentionally. But like Macho Man, Papajohn was a former professional baseball player as well. He was an outfielder for the LSU Tigers baseball team and helped the LSU make its first College World Series appearance in 1986. I guess this is why he got cast as a baseball player in Little Big League.
Oh, put me in there, I can throw strikes. Come on. What the hell's the matter with you? You let him go.
So the security officer here is played by the late Timothy Patrick Quill, who sadly passed away in 2021. Quill was a longtime friend of Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell, with Raimi offering him the part of a blacksmith in Army of Darkness.
I'll stand by you.
And I guess this is why Quill is in all 3 Spider-Man movies. Yeah, I bet you thought Bruce Campbell was the only guy that got recurring cameos. But no, Quill did too. Here he is in Spider-Man 2, and this is him in 3.
Shut it down at the generator! Now!
Stay
That's
back!
my uncle!
What happened? Carjacker, he's been shot. Look, we just called the paramedics. They're on their way.
Okay, so this is one of those, how is such a small ass part played by someone so well established situations. The cop that tries to stop Peter from reaching Uncle Ben is Mexican-American actor and singer Sara Ramirez, who has dabbled their feet in a bunch of notable stuff. Ramirez started acting on Broadway and won a Tony Award for their role as the Lady of the Lake in the original 2005 production of Spamalot.
Find your grail, find your grail, find your grail.
But on screen, Sara is best known for playing Dr. Callie Torres in Grey's Anatomy, and Sara got to show off their singing chops in a musical episode they did.
All of these lines across my face tell you the story of who I am.
You also might remember Ramirez in this scene from You've Got Mail.
Happy Thanksgiving. It's your turn to say Happy Thanksgiving back.
Happy Thanksgiving back.
And Ramirez provided the voice for Lammy in the Parappa the Rapper video game series.
Yeah, that's right. My guitar's in my mind. Leave it to Lammy.
All that from someone I never gave so much of a glance to before. This is why I love making these videos.
I assume you're confident about this test?
Absolutely. Captain Curtis is our top pilot.
Okay, the project coordinator you see here is a man known more as a voice actor. This is Jim Ward, and probably his most famous role is that of Captain Quark in the Ratchet & Clank series.
A wondrous realm full of adventure and peril and, bigness.
Ward was also a co-host on The Stephanie Miller Show, a political satire radio program.
You don't have to do the Jack Nicholson forehead. It's okay.
Yes, you do. You have to do the Jack Nicholson forehead.
And some of his other voice roles include Miko in Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
Don't kill me.
I hate to admit it, but you're worth more alive.
I'll get you for this fat payback. You hear me?
He played Saruman once in the Two Towers video game.
You shall pay for your arrogance.
I think Christopher Lee's version was a tad more refined. Though to be fair, I doubt even he could say that line and keep any sense of dignity. Apu booyah mooyah! Oh, and Ward once voiced Professor Xavier in the 2009 animated series Wolverine and the X-Men.
Indeed, you've changed the course of the future. However, I fear our fight has only begun.
Yeah, if I told you there was an actor in this movie that went on to play Professor Xavier, you'd assume it was this guy, wouldn't you? Sadly, however, Jim Ward had to retire from voice acting in 2021 due to complications of Alzheimer's and a bad bout of COVID-19. I wish him well.
The hell is that?
Can you see anything?
Oh my god!
So the unfortunate test pilot is played by American actor and singer David Holcomb. He's had various acting gigs, including this recurring role in the General Hospital spin-off Port Charles.
Wait until I tell the folks I ran into you here. Oh, they're very ashamed of my being in this place. They'll feel better knowing that even someone like you needs a little help sometimes.
And he's had a couple of voice acting gigs too, such as in one of the Star Ocean video games, where he provided the voice for the character of Thoras.
My apologies, General Alma. Please, let me build another to atone for this most egregious of errors.
Necessary. And David is at home on stage with his guitar. Here's a song of his called Power of One.
So fight, tiger, fight. Grab hold of this line. Don't take your eyes. Don't take your eyes from mine.
Say chess.
Chess. Okay, so two notable extras I want to mention here. You see these two? Yeah, these guys are identical twins, and their names are Gary and Larry Lane. If you're a fan of 2000s American reality television, you might remember them, for they outright won 3 different shows: Wipeout, Set for Life, and Fear Factor, where they collectively pocketed $125,000 across the 3 shows.
Fear's not a factor for you. Yes! $50,000!
And with this money, they used it to fund a documentary entitled Hollywood to Dollywood, about a trip they took to personally deliver a screenplay to country singer Dolly Parton. This documentary would go on to win 24 Film Festival Awards.
It would be horrible if it did cost us our family. But at this point in our life, we just gotta have the strength and the courage to take that risk, and whatever happens, happens.
The Lane twins also appeared in a string of commercials, advertising everything from shoe insoles to international airlines.
Would you like to fly Virgin America? I would love to fly Virgin America after hearing all that. It was nice. Had a lot of amenities.
This is not a man. My brother saw him building a nest in the Lincoln Center fountain.
Okay, lots of actors to go through in this scene, so let's go. This cab driver is played by Indian actor Ajay Mehta. Now, Mehta's most distinctive quality is his rich, deep voice, which he definitely doesn't use in Spider-Man. Check him out in this commercial for Fiber One, which is probably where most Americans will recognize him from.
Honey, touch of brown sugar, crunchy clusters.
Any cardboard?
Cardboard, no. Delicious, yes.
And he's appeared in dozens of shows, from The Mentalist, CSI New York, and 24.
He's being interrogated as we speak. Please, you must abort this attack before it's too late.
He once played the Prime Minister of India in G.I. Joe Retaliation.
What is it you want?
And here is his voice in Far Cry 4.
खुद से हटकर किसी चीज में विश्वास करने के लिए यही असली स्वर्ग है शंग्रीला मुझ में है.
Oh, and the guy to the left of Mehta is American actor Peter Appel. You might remember him from Leon the Professional.
Because he's got a talent for sniffing out a lie. It's scary. It's almost like a sixth sense. Now, you gonna change your tune, or I gotta bust into his?
I think he's human. I think he's a man. Could be a woman.
So, the dog walker here is played by Cuban-American actress Maribel González. González has appeared in a huge variety of things, from appearances in many Spanish-language telenovelas to commercials, like in this one for Crest toothpaste.
Fresca. Now I feel like a Crest kid. Who could ask for anything more?
Here she is in an episode of Law and Order.
He was a nice boy, but he was always looking at Brittany that way. I think there was something wrong with him.
And she's an avid stage performer, starring in many comedic plays in the Spanish language, of which she also writes.
Ven y acuéstate conmigo, que no voy a hacerte nada. Yo sé que tú eres casada y yo soy tu amiga. Venga, venga, venga.
Bobby, get a load of this.
Okay, so a few actors here, but this particular cop is one worth mentioning. That is a cameo from Scott Spiegel, who is another longtime friend of Sam Raimi, who helped him write the screenplay for Evil Dead 2. And he's a director himself, manning the directorial helm for films like From Dusk Till Dawn 2 and Hostel Part 3. Oh, and do you remember that guy who was going to help himself to pizza in Spider-Man 2? Yeah, that was Scott Spiegel again.
Some kind of freaky Lou or something. Wackadoo.
So this opinionated cop is played by Joseph D'Onofrio. D'Onofrio usually does a lot of gangster roles, so seeing him as a cop here is kind of weird actually. Here's Joseph in an episode of Gotham.
Just so. You can't do this, I got rights.
Oh yeah? How about you exercise your right to remain silent?
But many of you might remember him from many Robert De Niro starring productions, in films like A Bronx Tale, Goodfellas, and Analyze That.
I'm gonna ask you once, who you working for?
I'm working for your mother.
And Joseph has comedic chops himself. His biggest role in that regard probably being Staten Island Mike in the Ice Cube produced sitcom Are We There Yet?
What's up, brother?
He brought some bangin' potato salad.
And that's the goods, man.
What is wrong with you, man?
He stinks, and I don't like him.
So this truck driver is an American comedian called Jim Norton. Norton is known for hosting and appearing on many different radio shows and podcasts, from the Opie and Anthony show to the Joe Rogan Experience, and he is a very prominent stand-up comedian to boot.
My friend called me and he's like, do you want to come to my son's bris? And I'm like, well, what is it? And he goes, we're going to circumcise him. And I went, yeah. I think I'm just lonely, like I was so happy to be invited anywhere.
As far as his TV and movie appearances go, you might remember his recurring roles in comedies like Louis. He played a young Don Rickles once in The Irishman. For my younger audience, Don Rickles was the guy who played Mr. Potato Head, but he was a prominent stand-up comedian back in the day.
I work everyone. I make fun of blacks. I make fun of Jews. I work gypsies. I work Italians. Well, not those Italians. No. It's okay, Joe. I got the money. Oh, shoot.
Oh, and you might remember sticking his character up in Grand Theft Auto 4.
All right, already. Brett was just trying to be friendly. Shit, he'll be out of action for a couple of weeks.
Guy with 8 hands. Sounds hot.
Okay, if you know this one, you know this one. But if you don't know this one, this will blow your mind. The punk rock girl here is played by none other than Lucy Lawless. Yeah, that is a completely unrecognizable Xena underneath that getup.
Her courage will change the world.
And for anyone wondering why the warrior princess herself is in the movie, one of Xena's co-creators and husband of Lawless, Rob Tappert, is yet another longtime friend of Sam Raimi. And Lawless just happened to be in New York when they were filming. So they were like, yo Lucy, you want a cameo?
Sounds hot.
So what else has Lawless done outside of Xena? Oh, a few things. She's had recurring roles in a billion shows like Battlestar Galactica, Spartacus, Parks and Recreation, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and she reunited with Sam Raimi for Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Of course I know what I'm doing. I wrote this book.
She's had some voice roles too, like Joe Manganiello. She too can call herself a Star Wars actor, for she was also in Star Wars Resistance.
We lost many of our people in your attack, including our healer. For this, you will face punishment.
She also got a chance to voice that other notable warrior princess once in Justice League: The New Frontier.
All of you, fight on! To the last breath, fight on!
And I think many of you would kill me if I didn't bring up her appearance on The Simpsons.
Wait a minute, Xena can't fly.
I told you, I'm not Xena. I'm Lucy Lawless.
Oh, and Lawless isn't too bad a singer either. She came second in the American reality show Celebrity Duets, only getting beaten by Carlton over here.
Knock me down, it's all in there.
And did you know Lucy Lawless was arrested once? Don't worry, not for anything bad. Quite the opposite, in fact. Because she is an environmental activist for Greenpeace. And in 2012, she and 6 other activists boarded an oil drilling ship and remained on it for 77 hours to prevent it from leaving. They were all arrested, but Lawless got away with a $500 fine and 120 hours of community service, which wasn't bad considering that Shell were asking for $500,000 in reparation damages, which the judge thankfully denied them.
I'm in this fight for the long haul, as are all my colleagues here, and hundreds of thousands of people who joined us in protests, expressing our displeasure at Shell going into the Arctic.
Oh, and for anyone wondering who the lady behind Lawless is, that is one Margaret Baker. She's a model, but does quite a lot of unconventional, quite trippy shoots. For example, this is her on the front cover of Time magazine, doing her own version of the Valve logo, it would seem. Oh, and Baker has done acting work on stage and TV, like playing a zombie on The Walking Dead, and a cancer survivor on Sex and the City.
Oh, to hell with it. That's better.
He has those tights and that tight little...
So this weirdly horny woman is played by American actress Amy Bouril. Not much information on Amy, but this is her in an episode of Law & Order SVU.
Chloe's mother is Gloria Stanfield. The actress, she did a few movies about 10 years ago.
So you're asking for discretion?
No, I'm just giving you fair warning. They're both a handful.
And her last credited role I can find was in the long-running drama Guiding Light.
Hilda, your family,
I don't even have a boyfriend, sir.
Dresses like a spider and he looks like a bug. Well, we should all just give him one big hug.
So the Subway guitarist is played by actor, writer, director, and producer Jayce Bartok. Yeah, man of many talents. Behind the camera, Bartok has directed many award-winning shorts and wrote the screenplay for the independent drama The Cake Eaters, starring a pre-Twilight Kristen Stewart. And in front of the camera, he usually sticks to the small screen, with appearances in shows like Law and Order, and in Elementary, he plays a CEO of a sex doll company.
Honestly, for people who have trouble making connections, our dolls are a godsend.
But probably his biggest role was in the Richard Linklater film Suburbia, which is most likely how he got the role as a guitar player in Spider-Man.
You may think there's nothing to it, and the truth is hard to see. To be a man invisible is a remarkable thing to be.
Who is Spider-Man? He's a criminal, that's who he is. A vigilante.
Well, gonna miss a bit here, but J. Jonah Jameson is played by the one and only Jonathan Kimball Simmons. Yeah, that's what the JK stands for. Now, you know Simmons. Whiplash, Juno. He plays Commissioner Gordon in Justice League, and actually was set to play him again in Batgirl, so that got cancelled. And Simmons has done a ton of voice acting, from roles in Invincible.
But when I see Mark with his powers, and after what happened to the Guardians, I'm terrified I could lose everything.
Portal 2.
When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back.
The Legend of Korra.
Oh, come on! Those were illegal headshots! Open your eyes, Rep!
Gravity Falls.
Greetings. Do kids still say greetings? I haven't been in this dimension for a really long time.
And what is easily the highlight of his voice acting career, the Yellow M&M.
We're from the candy bar.
Oh, I eat stuff from there. Can I eat you?
Yes, I'm roasted peanut and...
Simmons also played Jameson in way more than just the movies. From an episode of The Simpsons.
I need photos! Photos of Spider-Man!
This is a poetry journal.
To Robot Chicken.
J. Jonah Jameson, Daily Bugle. I demand you arrest Spider-Man! He's a menace!
To even recording custom lines of dialogue for a Spider-Man pinball cabinet.
Multi-ball! It's a great score!
You also might remember Simmons from a series of commercials for Farmers Insurance, one of which he got to act alongside the cast of Sesame Street.
Oh! What about monsters having accidents? I am okay, by the way.
Depends. Did you cause the accident, Super Grover?
Me? Cause an accident? Maybe.
But let's talk about Simmons' singing chops. Yeah, he was involved in a choir during his high school years and went on to perform on Broadway. Here he is with Timon himself, Nathan Lane, in a 1992 revival of Guys and Dolls.
Gotta have the game or we'll die from shame.
He also starred in productions of Carousel, Birds of Paradise, and in 1991, he played Captain Hook in a stage adaptation of Peter Pan. Sadly, wasn't able to find video footage of this, so instead, I'll leave you with Simmons getting his Broadway fix back on again in season 4 of Goliath.
I'm the painkiller and I'm here to stay!
You'll be feeling no pain today.
He's not fleeing. He's probably going to save somebody else. He's a hero.
So Robbie Robertson here is played by the late American actor Bill Nunn. Nunn's claim to fame came in 1989 when he was cast as Radio Raheem in Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing.
Hey, it was with this hand that Cain iced his brother. Love. These 5 fingers, they go straight to the soul of man.
Some of his other notable roles were in New Jack City.
No!
You might remember him from Sister Act, which is kind of ironic given his last name.
The last 2 people that saw him in action kind of disappeared.
What do you mean they kind of disappeared? What is it? What do you mean?
Well, we found a piece here and a piece there.
And his last role before he passed away due to leukemia was in the comedy series Sirens.
Oh, that's very nice, Kevin.
My name's Brian.
You look like a Kevin.
Well, I would love to have a nickname. Then you could just call me by that.
Okay, your nickname is Kevin.
Oh, and you might be wondering who Robbie's assistant is here. Well, that is English actress Claudia Katz-Minnick. She's had some minor roles in films and TV. On one end, you have quite family-friendly roles of hers, like as a housekeeper in The Princess Diaries 2.
Oh, please forgive the intrusion, Your Highness. Lord Devereux.
No, you don't,
And on the other end is a lot of horror film roles, like in Flight of the Living Dead, where she plays a nun that gets her legs ripped off. And this is her as a scary mother character in the horror film Ouija. Ah, that's what working for J. Jonah Jameson does to you.
I resent that.
Okay, that's enough for part 2, so stay tuned for part 3, which is coming up soon. Or if it's already out, then the link will be on screen. Till next time.